Hello to Kevin in Dobbs Ferry, New York. Normally I'd start off by saying this is See More Better with freeprescriptionlenses.com, but today I'm changing my name to Feel More Better, not for you, for me. In the hopes that one day I will too feel better, and I'll explain in a moment. But I just want to read, promise myself to hold my crap together, and I think I'm going to fail miserably. I'm cutting some lenses, Duravision Platinum anti-glare lenses for Kevin's frame. Well, it's Kevin's now. His father bought this for him before he passed. Kevin just wanted me to read that, please let me know when you get my frames. My father bought me these frames before he died in April of 2012. This is April of 2020, in the middle of the coronavirus scare. So that's been 8 years for him. He says, I've been saving them since. His name was Charlie Burkett. He was a fighter pilot in World War II. He flew a P-39 Air Cobra over 50 missions. Kevin is in Dobbs Ferry, New York. He says it's tough up here. Good news is we only had 540 people die yesterday. I want to dedicate these lenses to all the brave essential workers that risk their lives every day. These lenses will help me see even more beautiful things that are happening here every day. Governor Cuomo had this video at one of his press conferences. It says it all. Please let me know when you get my... somehow I copied it. Okay. Sorry, I'm not myself. The reason why I'm not myself today is... my little buddy Coconut. I would have had him for 13 months. 13 years next month. He had a little growth on the inside of his mouth, and we took him to the dentist today to have the mask removed. And my wife calls me up from outside and says, can you come outside? And I could hear the tears in her voice. I'm the emotional one. My wife is more stoic than I am. But they said the mass was much worse and much larger than they thought, and they were 99% sure that he had cancer. He was in a lot of pain, and we could take him home for a few days and treat him with medicine and bring him back, as an emotional wreck would be, or we could go ahead and put him down today. And I had to make that decision to do that. My story isn't special. There's so many people out there who are dealing with this coronavirus who lose their loved ones and they can't be at the hospital with them. It's the same way. They're putting him down right now. I don't know when he's taking his final breath because I can't be there with him. I'm shedding tears over a cat. Imagine that if it was a family member. All the pain and suffering that people all over the world are having to go through. These aren't tears of sadness. These are tears of joy. I had a great 13 years. My wife got him 13 years ago. She adopted him. I didn't want a cat, and I told her that. I didn't want a kitten. But she adopted him. 2 days later, he adopted me. Then a week or two later, my wife had to go out and adopt this one. So she would, because she was the one who wanted a cat. And I can tell you that I've never loved a cat so much as Coconut. The reason his name was Coconut, when he was a kitten, when he was balled up, his fur looked like shredded coconut. Solid white with green eyes. I got him licking his face because I always thought that a cat cleaning their face was one of the cutest things in nature. But it's he greeted me every day when I came home. He was excuse me, someone's cutting onions in here. Don't worry, I'll wash everything down. I've got the alcohol and all that. One of the toughest things in life you can do is be emotional. I don't know how my wife can avoid doing it, but I'm the emotional one. But he would pull up in the driveway no matter where he was in the yard, because we have cat doors. They can come and go. I live out in the country. He would come out and greet me at my car. A lot of times I would open the door. He would hop up in my lap. I would pet him. He'd walk around the car. We'd get out. He'd lay down, roll around in the driveway. We'd go through our ritual of petting him. My wife was so jealous of the affection I used to give that cat. that she made it a rule I would have to come in and kiss her before I could pet him, at least on the inside of the house. I would steal some affection from him outside because she wouldn't know when I got home. But we're here to celebrate Coconut today. 8 years ago, Kevin lost his father. Inexplicably, Kevin and I will be linked this way. But even today, I opened up his box of the frames that he sent me. And he said, please give a shout out to all my fellow New Yorkers, our heroes who are out there every day helping others, serving at hospitals, grocery stores, bus drivers, police, etc. We will get through this together. New York tough. And he sent me a link to a video that I'll show you in just a little bit. But let's get everything started. Your right eye is minus 175, minus 1 at 80. Minus 175, minus 1 at 80. Put the power drum on minus 175. I'm glad I checked that. Take the lens and let me check it in. Minus 175. Okay, yeah, this is the right lens. Take the lens out of the packet. Put it in my Marco 101 lens. And normally I rotate it, but I nailed it. That one good thing go well for me today. When I was sitting outside talking to my wife, you couldn't believe how stoic I was. I knew I was going to fall apart when I came back inside. But I wanted to be strong for her. Because she needs it now. I've never seen her emotional. My wife and I have been together 15 years. We've never had one argument. I think I can count the number on one hand, on 2 or 3 fingers, the times I've seen her cry in her life. And to hear it in her voice today from outside over my cat. I think she was more worried for me. But I almost expected the worst. And that walk outside, I was ready and I was prepared to talk to her, give her the decision on what to do. Ironically, because I was making other plans. So, I'm not going to explain everything this time around. In fact, I am out of it. Let me get this stuff done. I can keep talking while I'm working. If you guys want to see me explain the whole procedure, watch some of my other videos. We're going to cover some new ground today. Today's not a same old day. I'm just getting the lens prepped, ready to be traced. I'm going to take the lens out of the frame. Very carefully. Alright, so the lining. It was in there so tight, it's coming. You have a figure 8 liner. I'm going to go ahead and do the thing normally, but I'm going to replace that before I ship to you. Because you don't want to see me go through everything. Do I have here? Actually, you know what I do? We're going to do everything. This is going to be a little bit longer than normal. Look, I've already got one of those there. My first inclination was to go home, crawl up in a ball, email Kevin and say, I'm sorry I can't get your glasses out today, but he told me yesterday he was down to some of his last contacts. He needs these, so it is symbolic. Life is for the living. You can't just curl up in a ball. You gotta keep going. So I'm actually very grateful to Kevin to remind me that I just gotta keep going. We all do. We'll all get through this. There's people much worse shape off than I am. So, yeah, everyone knows there's a string at the bottom. What you may not realize is there's a figure 8 string at the top. I'll go ahead and take that out. Ooh, this is going to be one of those. You would be one of those. Alright, let's see. Can I do it from this side? Yeah, we'll do it from this side. Normally, I'd be frustrated because this is a tough repair that I've got to do now. But you know what? Big scheme of things is not the most difficult thing I'm going to do today. So you know what? Put on my big boy pants and just do it. If everything takes a little longer today, we have time. Some living creatures on this life don't have. So all it is time. We complain about being bored. It just means we just take for granted how good we feel when we're healthy. And everything's going well. that brings to boredom. People who are going stir crazy in their home, in a way, they don't realize how good they have it. Get to stay home a little longer with loved ones. So I have to enter his pupillary distance 35.5. Raise the optical center up 2 millimeters to 17. I want to mark that. We will get through this. Those aren't my words, that's Kevin's. Do the same thing now for the left eye. Get this one prepped. Power of the right eye, Duravision Platinum, aspheric. This is the right lens. Let's do the same thing now for the left lens. -2, -1/4 at 75. -2, -1/4 at 75. Take that out. Let's go ahead and mark that one. -2, -1/4, Duravision Platinum. Aspheric, single vision. This is the left lens. And again, let me recap. I had a joyful 13 years. A lot of people don't get that. Put the lens in. Power drums on -2. Told my wife outside, don't let me around any kittens. She said, please God, no more cats. Of course, she's got hers. That's easy for her to say. She's got me and I've got her. Same pupillary distance, same optical center height. Now my wife accuses me, and it's true, of keeping pets too long. My last 2 cats, they, for the sake of argument, probably lingered more than they would, but I wasn't ready to let go and put them down. As long as they kept purring, I was going to keep them around. And I'm about to show you some frames that I'm producing. And with this whole coronavirus and other things, I'm going to have the option building a shed in my backyard, putting a second one of these, work from home on the days that I could. And actually, let me see this one. I might be able to just slide this one all the way back in. I bet I can. It just popped out when I was cutting. Let's see if I can use this one for now. But she didn't know it. I told her today. You know, I had a contractor come out, give me an estimate on running water and electricity out to the shed in my backyard. And I was going to put in a central air unit for a 16 by 20 shed. But part of the reason I was doing that was that the last cat we had couldn't hold its bowels and would use the bathroom inside, not in the litter box. Find a spot in the corner somewhere. Alright, I am going to use a different one. And since I know my wife doesn't want it to be inside messing up her nice house, I was going to build a shed in case I had to live out there with him, where she wouldn't worry about him using the bathroom. Alright, let's go in the other direction. I'm going to slide this one out this way. That's what I can do. This one's going to be hard to put back in, but hey. Again, not the hardest thing I'm going to do today. Kevin is a tough New Yorker. He's lived through 9/11. Those people up there went to work. The people who stayed home expecting to see them at the end of the day, their loved ones. Except there's 3,000 people whose loved ones did not come home at the end of the day. Same thing, if anyone out there has pets, love on them for me. Because when I come home today, mine won't be there. This is a figure 8 liner. Think of it a double-sided, a Siamese twin string. And I'm feeding it through the groove in the frame, little by little. This is what grabs the top of the slide. Excuse me, don't worry, I'm going to clean everything with alcohol. This is what it looks like when a 53-year-old successful entrepreneur has a tough day at work. Come on, slide in there. Can I get in there the other way? You just, it's going to be one of those days. Okay, so here's what I'll do. I'm going to do it in a couple steps. The frame companies do this. They do it in several pieces. I always like to do it in one, but we'll do it how a lot of the frame companies do. I'm going to slide this in to get it around that sharp curve. Alright, let me put on my big, strong magnifying glasses. Kevin's prescription is the exact opposite of mine. He can see up close with his glasses off. I cannot. I have to put on really strong glasses. No. I'll tell you, we'll send it there. We'll put another piece in through there to fill that gap. Yeah, the string absorbed, well, the liner that came out absorbed the force from me pressing on the lens to get it out, just because I know that this frame means so much to Kevin. Once a year you'll have a frame break, and it's not going to be today. Not on Kevin's, not on his dad's. Alright, we got that one there. Let's feed in some more. Always cut it at a 45-degree angle. Make it slide in there a little easier. Putting force on it there so it goes around the curve all right. I can go ahead and start cutting the left lens now. Your lightweight, unbreakable, high impact UV A and B protected lenses, scratch coating, Duravision Platinum, Zeiss's Premier anti-glare coating. Nothing's going easy today. So while I'm doing this, you may have seen in my other videos, I'm launching my own eyewear collection called Christian Eyewear. That's going to have a cross, a metal cross embedded there and in the temple tip. I actually did not pick the name See More Better. It was a nickname that someone gave me. I know that people typically can't pick their own nicknames. They're always assigned to you. But if I were, pick my nickname, and I may do that. So my wife says, well, if you can put a cross on the side, can you put a pink ribbon? Because her family has been devastated by breast cancer. So I said, I don't see why not. So the manufacturer is going to do that for me. And I should have those in about 60 to 75 days, hopefully around July 1st. Ooh, getting close to where it comes together. Getting close. And when I launch those, I'm thinking about no longer being See More Better. I'm thinking about changing my name to Dash. D-A-S-H. Why is that? Because I'm coming to a turning point in my life where I can see my mortality and those around me. Oh, where's that string? Come on now, come on. There it is, there it is. I'm going to slide this in. This is going to be a challenge. Okay, not so much anymore. Slide that in there. Trim that so it's easier to go in. But having a purpose-filled life, having a life with meaning. You know, we all kind of wander through life doing what makes us happy, doing what's asked of us. But what does it mean to have a purpose-driven life? And I'm starting to find a purpose for mine. For this eyewear, the Christian eyewear, the cancer ribbon eyewear, which is what it will be called, to show support for someone who's going through a tough time. And I think even men will wear a frame with a pink ribbon if they've lost a mother, a spouse, a sister, a role model to them, to breast cancer. They can show their support to someone who's going with it, or as a memoriam. I need to put my little coconut on the side of a frame so I can show support for my buddy. But we're all here temporarily. Tomorrow is a promise to no one. And the old saying, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. We will go into a graveyard. Every cemetery, every graveyard, every tombstone, not every, but most, has a birth year and the death year. Numbers are numbers. But what makes those two numbers unique is that dash in between those two numbers. What does that dash mean? That little dash between the two things. I'm going to have this on mine, 1966, my birth year. I don't know what's going to be here. I couldn't control this. I can't really control that. I could be dying in a car crash. I could die of old age. I could make this one longer by eating better and exercising. But this is the only thing I truly can't control. That dash. That purpose. That meaning. I encourage everyone else. Make your dash significant to you and to others. We're all blessed. We all get a dash. Everybody dies, but not everybody lives. Have a life where there are no regrets when it's your time to go. Have a passionate dash. Have a meaningful dash. Have a purpose-driven dash. so that others will cry tears of joy when they go to the cemetery. A couple weeks ago I did my 1000th video, and I had just been to my grandparents' gravesite. Now let me see if I can avoid all that for this one. Please come out easier. Please come out easier. Whew, you did. Okay. So I encourage everyone to be their own Dash. Make a difference in someone's life. What more noble cause is there while we're here? Kevin is thinking about everyone but himself in New York. All the first responders, all the essential workers. He's literally at ground zero for the second time in his life. I guess I can take those off now. And he's thinking of others. So much pain and suffering going on around him. But in a world where you could be anything, be kind. It's corny and true. I'm full of corny dad jokes. Here's something else corny. If you can be anything in this world, be kind. You don't know what people are going through. Those aren't my words. It's Robin Williams. Man, my allergies are acting up. So big surprise, you'll see him these same exact frames. Instead of the cross, we're going to have a pink ribbon. I'm starting off with one style, but I'm coming out with a line of kids glasses. A portion of the proceeds from both or whomever, I'm going to donate glasses to children going through the Duke University Pediatric Cancer Ward, which is the big hospital in my town, because I learned that chemo and radiation affect eyesight. A kid could be 20 years old. Excuse me. A kid could be 20. It's hard for me to focus today. And start to get treatment, and their eyesight can change and need glasses. I'll never cure cancer, but I can still do my part with what I'm capable of doing, and I can provide them with glasses. I just want it to be one less thing for their parents to worry about while their kids are getting treatment, because very few people from my town go there. People move here. They have to quit their jobs, leave their homes. Oops, that was way out. Think of what it must be for a parent. Here I am who lost a cat today. Minus 275, we're good there. 75. Is the PD on there? I better mark them. All this working on the lens, I rubbed the PD off. But parents thinking of their children. Can you imagine what it'd be like to lose a child? My heart goes out to any parent who has. I hear it's the hardest thing to do is to bury a child. So I want it to be one less thing for them to worry about while they're here in my city getting treatment. And I'm going to go there on Friday afternoons. Fortunately, the doctors can do the exams. I'm going through the paperwork, the process, the bureaucracy of doing that. I'm going to go there on Friday afternoons to deliver the glasses, take orders for new ones, take the measurements, take their pupillary distance, which I just measured on your glasses, and then come back the following week with the glasses made. Again, I can't promise I'm going to leave with a dry eye. But I'm doing it, I'd like to think I'm doing it for them, but I'm doing it as much for me as I am for them, because throughout my life, no one can kick me when I'm down like I can. And we all have our struggles. But when I think of a child who's fighting for their life, and has been for some of them their whole lives, it makes me realize, just put on your big boy pants, go do what needs to be done. And because life goes on. You know, ironically, after all this, a friend of mine named Simon, who's on Instagram, sent me, I get spam on here, He has, I encourage everyone out there to go and follow him. His Travolta poses, as in John Travolta poses. In my 20s, I went to Israel to do some volunteer work. He was another volunteer there. And for every picture that he would take, and he'd make us do group photos. Before there was any of that, before cell phones, before any of that. Kids, listen to me, we actually had to put film in camera and take pictures. This was before digital cameras. But he would always do the John Travolta staying alive pose. I don't know how he started that, but he'd make us all do that. If you go through some of my Instagram pages, you'll see my Instagram posts, you'll see me doing that. It's just, you know, staying alive. It's funny, we go all over the world and say, hey, do the John Travolta pose. And of all the things, movies John Travolta has done, people do the Saturday Night Fever pose. In fact, if you go to Travolta_poses, let's see the rest of his, he'll do anything. If there's a reflection where it looks like an arm is coming out, little statues that he sees on some biscuit. Now, Simon lives in Sweden. He delivers art all over the world. I forget where he's at there. Pretty good guitar player. He's got his Led Zeppelin shirt on. Simon the Swede. Although he always used to call me Sven. He said I look Swedish with my dark hair, dark skin, and dark eyes. I called him Mohammed because doesn't he look like a Mohammed? Blonde hair, blue eyes. He got these people to do the pose. And when I go to Damerscott, Maine, oh, he put mine on there. Here's me. I go to a pumpkin festival. I've got a pumpkin suit. I've got orange shoes on, my orange Ray-Bans. And here I am doing the pose. But I try and do a flash mob and have as many people do the pose as I can at one of the events. We have competitions for that, but how symbolic that it is. Staying alive. I know I'm repeating myself, but life is for the living. We can live for others who have passed before us. Just like Kevin's dad. Think about that. You know, here we are when this all first started, the coronavirus, and we're asked to stay at home. Our grandparents were asked to go fight in a war. We're asked to stay at home on our couch and watch television. And people had a thing. This is a once every 100-year pandemic. World War II was not even a once every 100 years war. But think of what they did for us. He flew over 50 missions, putting his life on the line. And we can save lives just by staying at home. We can stay home for others. Live for others so that the essential workers at the hospitals aren't overwhelmed and inundated. Because they want to go home to their families, and their families are scared to hug them because they don't know if they're sick or going to show symptoms or contagious before any of their symptoms are shown. So you heard it here first. In a couple months, I'm going to change my name from Seymour Better to Dash, because I'm going to work on my Dash by making the lives of others better, thereby making your own life better. Knowing one day that I too will feel better, feel more better. But I'm sorry to be somber in this. I just really miss my buddy Coconut. He's not going to be there when I come home today. I have my mother. I have my wife. I have many other things in my life to be joyful for, including the 13 years of joy that I had with him. And truth be told, my wife likes to remind me that you didn't even want him when she brought him home. My wife has been right about everything. My new nickname for her is called Ford, F-O-R-D. And she didn't understand why. Of course, that's her calling now. Hang on one second. Let me just answer that. Hey honey, do you have me 1 minute I can finish a video, then I'll call you back? Alright, I love you. I'll call you right back. She's probably with the vet asking what they want to do with his body. Do we want to take him home and bury him? Do we want to cremate him? But I forgot what I was saying. Something with my wife. Oh, Ford, which stands for Focused on Right Decisions. My wife is a data analyst. We got a new dishwasher. She wrote out flow charts, comparisons of what this one did, what that one did. And I just know now that she's not going to do something. I'm so blessed to have found my soulmate. She's not going to do something unless it's the right decision. She's got my back. She has every password to every email, every bank account, every possible thing. My friends were freaked out when I told them that. They said they'd have to go get another credit card just so they could purchase other things without their wife knowing. And I worry about their relationships. But my wife is always focused on the right decision. I'm going to call her back now to decide what we do with Coconut's body, and we'll go out and bury him. It's a tradition in New York and elsewhere that you put a stone on the grave of a loved one. Kevin, next time you're at Charlie's grave, pick up a stone off the ground, put it on your dad's grave marker for me. It's symbolism. I learned when I was in Israel. You do that because it commemorates the demolition of the original temple. You hear Jesus' sermon from the Temple Mount. He was standing on the remains, the rubble. You put a stone on someone's graveyard, their tombstone, because it's symbolic. It's written in the Bible that when Messiah comes back, all the dead will come back to life. And it's symbolic that when the rubble is put back together, that stone that you have on the cemetery, all of our loved ones will come back and be with us. So, oh crap. I'll put a link. Let me do this real quick. I forgot to do this. I'm sorry. I was doing the string the whole time. I'm going to call my wife. You guys watch this. I'm going to call my wife real quick. Let me see if I can go back. This is called New York Tough, and I'll leave a link in the description below.
Bring down that paranoia. And we're going to get through it because we are New York, and because we've dealt with a lot of things, and because we are smart. You have to be smart to make it in New York. And we are resourceful. We are showing how resourceful we are. And because we are united, and when you are united, there is nothing you can't do. And because we are New York tough. We are tough. You have to be tough. This place makes you tough. But it makes you tough in a good way. We're going to make it because I love New York, and I love New York because New York loves you. New York loves all of you. Black and white and brown and Asian and short and tall and gay and straight. New York loves everyone. That's why I love New York. It always has, it always will. And at the end of the day, my friends, even if it is a long day, and this is a long day, love wins. Always. And it will win again through this virus.
This one's just finishing. I'm going to get it cleaned up. I'm going to get it shipped, and then I'll come home. And we can break our elbow bump. Boy, I hug you and kiss you. Alright, love you. Goodbye. So, I'll put a link in that video if anyone else wants to share it. That was my wife with some good news. When she called back, even with this coronavirus, they did let her go in and be with him when it happened. She was holding him and petting him, so he wasn't alone. So anyone out there who's feeling alone, just know that you're not. We're New York strong, we're Earth strong. Love your loved ones, love your pets. Cherish every moment you get with them. Says the workaholic who puts in 15, 16 hours a day and doesn't come home when I should. But if anyone out there is feeling lonely, email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. If anyone out there feels unloved, I love you. I know it's corny to say you don't hear this from me, and I am emotional right now, but no one should have to go through anything alone. Make the most of your time here. Again, I'll have a link in the description below for the video that just played. And guys, work on your dash. There's nothing you can do about the 2 numbers on your tombstone, but you can do something about that dash that separates them. What's going to separate you from all the pain and suffering that goes on this planet. So Kevin, thank you so much. Again, we're always going to be linked. This is my most emotional video yet. Hopefully everyone else now can see how I bring that love and feeling back to life. Goodbye.